All right, what is going on, everybody? It is Gis. I know I'm a day late to my usual upload, but it's holiday season, and this is probably going to be the last upload until the new year. But I wanted to, before this year ends, just in case you're going to have time to get into the game a little bit more. Maybe you're on break, maybe you've got some PTO going on, whatever. I want to give you guys my RuneLite settings and helpful little tools and things that I use in my journey on this game to, one, get better, but also to make it a little more convenient, because there are a lot of things on this game that are not very convenient, and these things will help you, get some quality of life in there that you couldn't otherwise get because Jagex hasn't given it to us. Nothing against them, but the RuneLite devs are great, and plugins are nice for quality of life. Most of the plugins I use are just quality of life things. I think the one that I use the most is just tile indicators. So if you don't have that, where you can just mark tiles, that's probably my most used plugin. I just like to see where I'm going and what my character is doing. Anyway, let's get into it real quick. I wanted to start at the bank, and then we'll sort of move around. The first thing I want to touch on is over here on the right side of my screen, inventory setups. A lot of people don't know about this one. You can also use bank tags. I know people use bank tags before inventory setups came out, but now that inventory setups is in, I prefer inventory setups. Feel free to use bank tags if you still want to use bank tags. It's basically the same thing. But if you were confused, let's say you downloaded inventory setups and you're like, all right, settings. What am I looking at? You don't need to look at any of this. You can leave these as all the defaults, right? So once you have this installed, over on the right side of your RuneLite client, you're going to see all these little tabs that we can go into. Inventory setups is just your little equipment guy. See your little equipment guy right here, worn equipment? Over here on the side, boom. Now, once you're in here, let's say I want to create the setup I have right now, and then I want my inventory to be my farming run or whatever. I don't have a bottomless compost bucket anymore because I'm 99 farming. Doesn't matter. Let's say this is my farming run. Boom, 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 boom. I use all these teleports. I'm going to go do my birdhouse at the same time. I need 4 birdhouses. I need this, and boom. Okay, so this is my setup to go do my farming run. Well, I don't want to have to remember that every time, right? So what I can do over here on the right, inventory setups, add a new setup or section, add a new setup. What this is going to do, it's going to remember what you have equipped and what you have in your inventory at the point of creation. So we'll say farm run, farm rune, yes, farm run, and hit OK. Now you're going to see it down here. And now you're wondering, what the hell? I still don't see it in my bank. This is the worst plugin in the world. All we got to do from here is click this little eyeball. Boom. So now it removes everything else that I don't need to see. All right, I get my Varrox helm, my construction cape, all my farming supplies, and get my seeds, whatever, right? So same goes for, let's say you want to do a, budget Coliseum run. Boom. Here's my budget Coliseum setup. I just got to withdraw all this stuff. These are degraded now, so it's not there, and I'm wearing this. But boom, this is my budget Coliseum run. No spoilers, no spoilers. This is how I'm going to go in. I can just grab all the stuff that I want really fast. My inventory is organized, so I can just go across here. Just click across this line. You can set this up too if you like doing the horizontal withdrawal. If you want to go through the trouble of figuring out how you can go like this to get your inventory to be like perfect by just doing the horizontal switches as if you're doing horizontal switches, as if you were doing horizontal switches, you can set it up like that. I don't bother. I just go across. It's not that big of a deal. And then, of course, once you get to a row like, let's say, these super restores, you can just click one of them, and it's still going to pull from all of them. You don't have to do an individual withdrawal. So same, if you got to this, you could just do like this, and then go to this, and then go to this, and you wouldn't have to go all the way across every single time, right? So that's inventory setups. It's pretty good. I like it a lot. If you, struggle with, God, I'm getting back from my Vorkath trip, my inventory's a mess, I'm going to bank my inventory, I'm going to go to my potions tab, I'm going to go like this, where's my anti-fire? I only see this one. I guess I'll use this one. Food, yep, I need, where's my home ports? Where's my house tabs? Inventory setups is just, oh, I want to do Vorkath. Let's say this is Vorkath. Boom, I'm doing Vorkath, right? So inventory setups is great. Highly recommend you get it if you are a PVMer, if you're a skiller even. You can get all your skilling setups good to go, especially farm runs, birdhouse runs, all that kind of stuff. You can get it set up, lickety split. Really, really nice to do that. Next thing I want to talk about is still in the bank, and it's something called bank memory. Now, the reason I want to talk about bank memory is if we install bank memory, again, you click these settings, it doesn't matter. We don't need that. What we want is to go over to the side tab again, we see this little pink money sign, bank memory. So it knows everything that's in my bank currently. And you might be wondering, well, what's the point of that? So if we have a saved bank right here, it knows that this is my saved bank. If we pull up Gearscape, for those of you who have never used Gearscape, by golly, you need to use it. Mostly because this exists, especially for you Iron Men. So if we go to Gearscape, let me bring you into the window. So when you're in Gearscape with the bank memory plugin, you can either tick this to say only include my items. It's going to ignore this money value. You're going to hit find setup, and it's just going to throw what you got in your bank. It's going to throw it at it, and it's going to be like, yep, this is what you got in your bank. This is what you should bring to this boss. Coolio. If you don't want it to only use your bank, let's say you have like a 10 mil cash stack to upgrade. Let's say you have a 10 mil cash stack to upgrade, and you want to kill the Whisper. Then you can tell it to find setup again. Now it's going to recommend you some different things. So instead of taking a ward, it wants me to take a Mage's Book, because Mage's Book has higher accuracy and still the same percentage of magic damage. So this is a better offhand than a ward. I didn't even know this. I'll go sell my ward, buy a Mage's Book instead. It's technically better because it has higher accuracy. The ward has very minor defense bonuses, but it doesn't really matter. It also wants me to upgrade to Air. This one I'm not fully sure as to why it wants me to do this over the Blue Moon, but what do I know? Maybe it's more accurate by like 2 or something. I have no idea. It should be fairly equivalent, but it wants me to buy these 3 items. I don't have these 3 items in the bank. This is what it wants me to upgrade with my 10 mil. So you can get an Aram's Top, Bottom, and a Mage's Book for 10 mil to upgrade your Whisper setup, if that's what you wanted to do. So all that is the bank memory plugin imported on this thing with bank memory. We exported from Runelite with bank memory, imported it into here, and you just have to toggle this button one way or the other. Say only use my bank, or use my bank, but also I want you to use the 10 mil cash stack that I have to upgrade my setup and tell me what is the best thing for me to be doing at that boss. All right. So another thing I can talk about while we are in the bank is something, it's not a plugin, but it's another website called GE Tracker. So I like to use this website a lot when I'm making especially larger purchases. Let me show you here. It's called GE Tracker. You probably have seen Flipping Old School use this a lot. You want to use this. So let's say you are now in the market for Oathplate. You finally got some Oathplate. So we type in Oathplate and we want to look at this. So we can get the full armor set right here. So you can check things like this. You can be like, okay, Oathplate spiked, but now it's coming back down a little bit. It went up to 300 mil for some reason. Now it's back down, cruising at 280. Cool. What you can do here, especially with armor sets, we can look at the selling price. This is what people are trying to sell it to you for. This is what GE Tracker is saying you could probably buy it at, because these people maybe get impatient and drop it a few mil just to get the sale, right? So what I like to do is take this price and just tick it up by like 100, 200K, depending on what you're buying, right? Just tack it up by like 10% or something. So you can override the people that are going exactly at this price. Buy them out a little bit so you can get your offer in. That's what I like to do. You can do whatever you want. The next thing you do, if you're looking at the armor sets, you have to do a little bit of quick math on your calculator, but if you add up all 3 of these prices right here, which is what you would be purchasing it at, if it is at this price, you might as well just go ahead and get the set, right? But if you're saving a good like 10-15% buying the separate items rather than doing this, then you might as well go for it. And especially when you're selling something. GZ, if you're selling something as a set, make sure you're looking at this too, because remember, you're going to get taxed on everything. So if the tax gets added up on these 3 items to be more than the sale on this item, make sure you're not scamming yourself. That's all you really need to do for GE Tracker. Just check what you're purchasing, especially on big purchases. Try not to get scammed. Remember that GE tax caps out at 5 mil. So if you're in the market for a mega rare, let's check out Scythe. If you're in the market for, say, a Scythe, the tax is capped at 5 mil. So if you're selling your Scythe to try and buy something else, you're capped at 5 mil. You cannot get taxed over 5 mil. So you don't have to worry that much about going in between mega rares, in my opinion, as long as you're going to shift to a different grind for an extended period of time. So once you have one mega rare, you can swap between them as long as you stick to one grind for a significant amount of time using the mega that you swap to. So I don't personally believe in like buy 1 mega, stick to 1 mega. You don't need to do that. Buy the best thing you can for the content that you want to grind. Of course, if you want to grind multiple pieces of content, this is going to be different for you, GZ. but it's like loosely the same. I don't know why Scythe is so spiked, by the way. Maybe they banned like top bots or something. But yeah, Scythe is up. So if you're a Scythe owner like myself, big ups. If you're not, unlucky. All right, next up. Another thing we can talk about in the browser. This is a tool everybody's familiar with. I know you are all familiar with this tool. If you are not, you need to be using it. Welcome to the old school RuneScape wiki. We have the best wiki of any game in the history of time. It's not even close. I don't care what your argument is. Old School's wiki is the best wiki. We have a great wiki team. Use this. This is one of your greatest tools while you're playing this game. I see a lot of people wondering, what can I do for money? Do you know how many times I have referenced this? This is like a fairly accurate representation of what you can be doing in the game to make money. It has all the way down to making literal peanuts, claiming pure essence from wizard property. Okay? Selling hard leather bodies. Okay? So it goes all the way down to 1K an hour. Whatever tier you're at, right? Farming. Look at all these farming methods. Whatever tier you're at, picking potatoes is 22K an hour. You can find something, right? If you just scroll through this list, whatever tier of game you're at, you're like, man, I'm only making 100K an hour. Let me look at some of these like 300K an hour methods. Killing jubsters. I don't even know what a jubster is. But if you can kill a jubster, oh, it's a jubbly lobster in the Tower of Life. So if you buy this stuff, it'll output this stuff. And if people are buying raw jubbly, you make some money, right? Literally everything in the game is in here. If you can think it, it is in here, right? Cooking some dark crabs, mining amethyst, filling buckets with water is 368K using the humidify spell. All right? Something is in here for you. Use this to your advantage. If you need help making money, look at this. This is a great thing to do. Another quick shout out. Soup's Unusual Money Making Series. Go check those out. Sometimes they're a little bit weird, but he keeps a spreadsheet in the description that automatically updates with GE prices based on the wiki. So again, if you needed to know something about an item, you can reference the wiki. We have quest guides in here. We have item details. We have special attack details. We have strategy guides. So let's say Colosseum strategy. Is this going to be like completely accurate? Should you probably watch a video? Yes. But you can at least get an idea of what you should be bringing if you don't want to use a video guide, if you need budget setups, if you need help just like with the what do these do? This is the simplest switch capable of one-shotting the melee Fremenic without use of a special attack. Do you have this stuff? Cool, you can one-shot the Fremenic. Otherwise, you can go down the list and be like, all right, this is a 2-shot threshold. All right, well, this is slower than a powered staff. Ice Barrage needs a minimum attack bonus of 104 and Augury, or 140 without Augury to guarantee a freeze. Do not barrage the other Fremenics after the melee is dead because you lose your accuracy, right? So this thing can give you so much information about whatever it is that you're doing that you don't have to ask somebody, you don't have to go to Reddit and like scroll through a whole thread. The wiki's got you covered, man. Whatever content you're doing, check out the wiki article. Check out the strategy article. Let's say you're doing mole, right? Something as simple as mole. There's probably something in here that I didn't know, right? If you just scroll through this, you'll find something that, I don't know, man. Dude, the mole can be killed quickly with Darok the Wretched's equipment. You can kill her in 2 to 3 hits depending on your strength boosting equipment. Whoa! We can lower our health to 1 with a locator orb and a rock cake, use prey melee and flick piety? Dude! When the mole reaches half health, there's a chance it'll dig? I didn't know that. You know what I mean? Not trying to patronize, but like, even something as simple as the mole, maybe you could glean some information from this, right? Falador Hard Diary is highly recommended because it tracks the mole for you. You don't have to run around. So whatever you're doing in the game, check out a strategy article, check out the wiki article, make sure you are using this tool, dude. Don't do yourself a disservice. Don't go in with, you know, half of one eye and your teeth missing and your hands tied behind your back, right? Glean some information, look at what you're doing, read the instruction manual, right? If RuneScape was IKEA furniture, let's read the instruction manual. The wiki's the instruction manual, okay? Take a glance at it, see what it's saying. You don't have to take it bar for bar, but take a glance at it, see what's going on. If it still doesn't make any sense once you get in there, go watch a video. If it still doesn't make sense, you can ask me in the comment section below. I will fill you in. All right, next up. All right, so one real quick one I want to talk about is anti-drag. So once you install this plugin, what you can do is set your drag delay. I have mine set to 13, 12, 14, like anything in there is going to be good. So if I try to drag this, do you see that delay? Do you see that? You see how my mouse is gone and then it goes, right? And you might be wondering, Well, I like to reorganize my inventory. What the hell? So the reason this is good, let's say we are in, dude, we're in some sick, nasty gear, okay? So we're in some sick, nasty gear. So what I want to do is switch into this gear, okay? So let's say I accidentally drag. You see how I still do it? So I'm holding my mouse as I go over here, right? I'm doing this, but if I let go in time, even though I'm dragging, I'm attempting to drag here. I know it's very hard to tell. I'm attempting to drag. My equip will still go off until this moves. My equip will still go off. So if I click for too long and go over here, if I don't have this enabled, it's just going to go immediately into drag. So if I put this down to 0, see how it immediately goes? I pick it up and it's just going. Wherever my mouse is, it's going. Okay? So the problem with this is if you accidentally drag even just a hair going over to your next piece of equipment, you're not going to equip this. So what anti-drag does is it just helps you get cleaner switches. Even if you hold on too long, you can still get all your switches. I just teleported to my house. Anyway, point stands. You won't drag as much if you put on the anti-drag. So highly recommend you go ahead and do that because it has helped me immensely. I'm sure it helps me more than I even know that it helps me because it's hard to know how much that plugin is helping you until you just go PVM with it when you didn't have it initially. So if some of you are struggling with your switches, make sure you have anti-drag because I guarantee you that's what's happening to you. You're trying to do your switch and you're barely dragging that bitch and it's not equipping and you're getting tilted and you're not understanding why it's happening. Get anti-drag. It's going to help you a bunch. All right, next up. So the next thing I want to talk about is boosts information. Boosts information. I want to fill you in on a couple of things. So we want to know display boost, show relative boost, display info boxes, compact display. This is going to be up to you. I don't personally like compact display, and I'm going to show you why. So what this is going to do is when I have a potion active, it's going to show me everything that I have active. I have mine next to my inventory. It's going to show me everything that I have up, right? So all of my potion timers are taken down. All of my stats are right here. That's how I like it. That's how I've split it. If you want to split, you can drag these things around. You can put them wherever you want. If you hold Alt and then go here, you can make it horizontal instead of vertical. You can do a bunch of stuff. You can squish it up like this if you want. You can leave it extended like this. You can get it however you want to get it, you can get it. You can manipulate it in a way that makes sense to you. Now, the next thing I want to tell you about is not in this actual boost information plugin. We would have to go into our actual RuneLite settings. For those of you who didn't know, this is actual RuneLite settings. So if that's what you want to know about my actual screen size, there you go. But I don't think this is actually accurate. For me, what I recommend you do for your resolution, go to YouTube, go into theater mode, and make your client just about the size of YouTube theater mode on your screen. You can start there. That's how I do mine. It's a really easy way to size it, and then you can move it around from there. If you like it smaller, you can go smaller. If you're like a fixed Andy, you can do fixed Andy. I did grow up on fixed. I don't like it anymore. It's too small. I can't see shit because I'm old. Now, what I want to talk about here is if you scroll down all the way to overlay settings. So these, I know it squishes up my boost information, but you can still see them. Just for some reason, it doesn't actually, like, it doesn't get magnetized to the side of my inventory, so it's over here now. But if you go to your info box size, your fonts, you can go small, font, small. We can change all of these things. Bold, we can go regular. Tooltip font, dynamic overlay, all these things. Info box size. If you want this shit smaller, boom, look at that. So tiny, and then you can move it back over here. Because it's in the way, you're like, oh, it's too bulky. Make it smaller. You can just go over here and make it smaller. I like mine somewhere in like the 26 to 28 range, personally. But I think the default is like 40. It's huge. So go into your actual RuneLite settings over here and take this down. Info box size, take it down, take it down, take it down. You can outline the text too if you want to make it more bold. If it's not that readable like this, you can make it more bold. It gives it a drop shadow in the back, so it's a little bit easier to read. And I actually kind of like that. I think I'm going to turn that on. It's a little bit easier to read for my eyeballs. So that's boost information. I think that's really it for that. You can do non-combat boosts if you want, but I only really care about this. And then, of course, if you summon like a Thrall, activate Mark of Darkness, and put Death Charge on, then it'll also pop up where your potions pop up. So you can make this as big or as small as you want it to as well. And you can split these. Oh yeah, to split them, if you hold Alt and then you right-click, it'll split the guys. You saw it went over there. It'll reset it and it'll split it. And I think if you do shift right click, you can detach, you can flip, you can delete, and you can manipulate this in a way that you want. So if I detach this info box, so you see how it just detached my divine ranging. I can now move this wherever I want it. But I want it in this set of guys, so I'm going to move it back there, right? So you can detach any single thing that you want. You just have to go to it, hold shift, detach this info box. This one in particular will get moved. If you want it back, just hover it over that section and you can put it back there. So if you wanted to group them differently, you could also group them differently, right? So if we held shift, detach, we can now hold alt, combine these guys, and then move them separately as well. But again, I want all mine in the same. But you can manipulate yours however you want to manipulate. If you just like all your boosts on across the top of your screen, you can put them on top of your screen. I like them next to my inventory because this is all my information that I need right here, right? All right, next up. All right, let's go over to this hill giant and let's talk about a couple things. So the first thing I want to talk about is, one, if you want to set up your XP settings the way I do, here's a quick glance. I have no tracker or goal set on these. This is my settings for this one, which is just the thingy up top where my XP is going. If you just like this clean setup right here, there you go. Those are my settings. So the next thing I want to talk about is customizable XP drops. So if we go over here to XP, it's not like a game-changing thing, but you can set all the colors, whatever. You can do all these things if you want to copy that. But what I like the most is predicted hit. So if you tick this show predicted hit in the customizable XP drops plugin, once you hit something, once you hit it, there. I know exactly what is going to come up roughly. It's set 11 there. I don't know why it's at 11. I guess the XP was off. It just couldn't calculate it exactly. Again, 2. It's probably just a rounding issue. Again, 11. Cool, right? So I can know what's coming up before... I don't have to do any math in my head. I know what's going to happen. I like predicted hit. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. It's not like it makes that big of a difference. It just lets you sort of gauge what's going on and what's going to come up, what's going to happen, so you can plan your next move after seeing the XP drop, right? So if I see the XP drop immediately, you get a little bit more time before your actual hit comes up. See? So you get that little bit of extra, like, half tick of thinking time because you know what you're about to hit. You can plan your next move. So that's customizable XP drops real easy. And then the next thing I want to talk about is tile indicators. So tile indicators, these are my settings if you would like to copy them. Destination tile is just this one. So you see that little gray outline? That's where my character is going to go. So if we go like there. So you see that little gray outline right here? It's not because I'm hovering my mouse. It's because I click that tile. I know exactly what tile I'm going to. That's destination tile. Those are my settings if you would like to copy them. Thanks for the fucking lamp, brother. The next thing right here, hover tile, is just, you see my mouse hovering. So I don't have to guess about what tile I'm going to go to. That was a really frustrating thing in this game, because if you were on, let's see, you're like, you decide to click here. Without hovered tile, right, we turn this off. If I click here, which tile am I going to go to? I don't know. I cannot tell you what tile I'm going to do. I think it's the one on the left. It was the one on the right. Okay, you know what? Fuck me. I have hover tile on for specific that reason. I want to know where I'm going, exactly where I'm going. And remember, what's really cool about this is if you click somewhere in the distance, say you click here. I want to move to this tile, but oops, I accidentally clicked this tile. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 ticks, 3 ticks to fix my movement. You see how I fixed it? I know I'm going to this spot, but oops, I wanted to be right here. I have time to fix it before I get there. So I know where I click, and I can fix it. Oh, I didn't want to go there. I clicked here. Oh, I didn't want to go there. I want to go here. You have time to fix it, because you lock in that tile, and you're like, wait. I wanted to go there. There, I was too slow, right? But you get the point. Hover tile and destination tile are good. Love these. Current tile is completely up to you. I have mine as like this mustard yellow and border width to 1. But it just tells you where your character is, because obviously, as we all know by this point, true tile is important because your character is not updating to where they actually are, because the game wouldn't be able to do that. It would look really fucking weird if our character's just like teleported, right? Because we are a tile-based game, we have to move based on tiles. We cannot move with smooth animations. We are not on every axis of the game at one point, like most other games. We have to do it this way. You can't change it. There's not really a way to change it. That's how RuneScape is, all right? That's it for this one. So let's go to Better NPC Highlight. And you can mostly leave all of these settings the same. The one that I like, True Tile, I have these random things imported here. You'll see these in the description of some guides and videos like, oh, you need to highlight Vardorvis's head, Vardorvis's axes, and, you know, whatever else. I don't know what all these are, to be honest with you. I forget. But once you need to put these IDs in, you can. What really matters is when that comes up. You can do that. So better NPC highlight. Get it. You'll use it eventually if you want to advance your gameplay. The other thing is tile indicators, which is, nope, the other thing is NPC indicators. Here we go. So NPC indicators, what we can do is look at this render style. And what I like to have highlighted is True Tile and Southwest True Tile. This is my highlight color. So what is this going to do? If I hold Shift and I right-click this hill giant, I can then hit Tag All. If we hit Tag Tile, it will tag tile on every single hill giant in existence. Let's untag the tile. If we hit Tag All, I now have every single hill giant in existence plus its Southwest tile, because I want Southwest tile, Southwest True Tile. I would like these to be on my screen at all times, because I want to know my proximity to the monster. You do not need this plugin. It is just nice. All right. All it does, you can do this too. Tag style, you can change to the whole. You can change to True Tile. You can just change to the Southwest tile if you don't want to see the whole thing. You just want to see the Southwest tile. You can do whatever you want. But I like to do everything. And if you don't need it anymore, you can untag it. The other thing you can do from here is tag color. You can set a color to blue. You can go to pick color and it'll bring up, you can't see this on my mouse, but it'll bring up like the color picker thing. And then you can change it. Let's green. It's green now. Cool. So if you want to change colors on stuff, you can do that too. And untag. So that is NPC indicators, better NPC highlight, and tile indicators. Menu entry swapper. Now, what the hell is this? You don't really need to look at much of this, but customizable left click, customizable shift click, copy all this stuff. Copy all this stuff, right? I think this is mostly defaults. Just make sure you have shift click walk here enabled. This is huge, by the way. Make sure you have this. What this does is, see, I want to click under the, no, I want to go to this tile, but I can't because this hill giant's occupying it. If I hold shift though, now I can go. That's huge. All right, that's big ups. Okay, holding shift, we can now click through this mob and we don't have to worry about, you know, accidentally clicking him to attack him. Huge. We love shift click walk here. The other thing this could do, if we didn't want to hold shift, so see how it says attack? I want to actually hold shift, right click this hill giant, hit swap left click to walk here. Now, it'll change it for all these hill giants. Anything that's the same NPC ID, it now changes it. So now I don't even have to hold shift. I'm not holding shift. I can just click through because I changed my left click option. Now, if I want to still attack it, I can right click and attack it, but I didn't want to left click it on accident. So I just held shift, right click, swap left click, and then I just did that. So now we can do reset. And if you ever need to reset, you can do that and you can now left. So that is menu entry swapper. You can do that with anything. So over here, I don't want to drink my Divine Super Combat. Swap left click to use. All right, now I can't drink it. I can spam click it. I can't drink it because I swapped the entry. I can't do it anymore. And if I want to reset it, we just go to swap left click, reset, and now we can drink it again. This is useful sometimes if, let's say, you have a secondary ingredient for herb lore that has an eat option and it's the first option. You don't ever want to eat that item. You could just hold shift, right click, swap left click to use, and you would never eat that item again, right? So you could sort of get creative with it whenever you would need. You're like, man, I wish that was its left click. That would make this so much easier. You can do it that way. All right, next up, a real quick chat about visual metronome. So this is a tool that you can use to your own discretion. Let's turn it on and let's go to settings. So the only thing you really need for this is, I like a cyan color because it's really easy to differentiate from the background. Show metronome tick number, show tick number above player. I like to have it over my head. If you don't do it over your head, it's going to pop up somewhere else, but I don't have the, like the actual thing. Usually it's like a box on your inventory or a box somewhere that's just counting. I like it above my head. It just makes more sense with me. So the reason this is cool, I explained it in my How to Get Good at RuneScape video, but effectively you can just count ticks over your head. You don't have to look at the timer. You don't have to switch this to ticks. You don't have to count them in your head. It just pops up right here. I know I'm attacking every 4 ticks, so I know I'm attacking on tick number 4. And this is a repeatable thing, right? Every time you see 4, my leg's gonna be kicking. And then I'm on cooldown for 3, I'm kicking on 4. Cooldown for 3, kick it on 4. So this is the same thing if you set it to your enemy's attack cycle, which I don't know what hill giants are off top, maybe like 6. But if you set it to 6, you would then be able to know when your enemy is going to be attacking you off cooldown. And you can use that to sort of gauge your actions in combat because you know when the enemy is going to attack you next. And we can use something earlier in the video, the wiki, to go look at a monster's attack speed. So if I go wiki a hill giant right here, right? Let's go back. Let's double back. I'm going to wiki a hill giant, right? So let's see. We go down to attack speed, 6 ticks. So I was right. It's a 6-tick attack cycle. So if we set our visual metronome to 6 back in the client, then we would know every time that the hill giant was going to attack us. That is visual metronome. Use it to your own volition. I like to use it when I'm learning a piece of content, especially a harder piece of content. Definitely want to have visual metronome on so you can get used to the cadence of the fight. And then once you're used to it, you can turn it off. But I don't use it that much. I used it during Blorva and Radiant Grind and in Colosseum, I believe. And the only reason I needed it in Colosseum was because of the like wave start thing. You need to click behind the pillar, but now I don't even need it in Colosseum. You just sort of get used to the timing and you don't really need it anymore. All right, next up. All right, so it looks like there's one more to do, really, for my RuneLite settings and plugins and tools that I use to get better at the game, and it's going to be construction quality of life. Now, I'm going to do my best to example this to you, but for those of you that still need to train construction quality of life, I hereby announce construction is so nice. So, what have I done here? It changes whatever you're inputting on your keyboard to output something different. This is in RuneLite, this is completely legal, and it's so broken, and we're going to combine a couple of things. So, by default, I'm sure that this table is not removed. So if I hold shift-click, swap left-click, and reset, it is not removed. We would have to right-click. But what can we do? We can use menu entry swapper, like I said earlier. We can hold shift, swap left-click to remove. Boom. Now we can remove the table with just a left click and holding down the 1 key. You saw that I clicked it there, but that's because I was articulating with my hands. We were holding down the 1 key. Now, what is also cool is right here on build, we would also have to right click. That's arthritic. We don't like that. Hold shift, swap left click, build. Now we can build, okay? Now, this is the crazy part. If you're holding 1 to both build and remove your table, wouldn't it then be nice to hold 1 to build your mahogany table, if this is how you're choosing to do it? Even if you were doing oak tables or whatever, you could just change this output number to whatever you're trying to output on the construction menu, and you will be able to hold 1 to then output that number. Even if we were doing 7, we could just change this to 7, and we could input the 7 when we press 1. So watch this. Trust me when I say I am now clicking the 1 key. And I am going to hold the 1 key, right? Boom, I'm holding 1. Boom, I'm holding 1. Boom, I'm holding 1. I have not let go of 1. I am just holding 1. Now, I don't have enough to build a table after this. So what could I then do? My butler. Why don't you come on over? Okay, see? So even when I was training construction, he remembers, give me 24 mahogany planks. Guess what, guys? That's on the 1 key. Construction is free, dude. Hold 1. You can just train construction by holding 1. He's going to come back eventually. He'll give me 24 planks or whatever. You can just hold 1 for construction now. It's so broken. It's so broken, dude. Construction is free if you have the money. It's just hold 1, click table, and you find this cadence, and you can get like 850k XP an hour doing mahogany planks. It's so good. That's the last thing I wanted to send you off with. If you still need 99 construction and you have the money and you're going into your holiday break or whatever, this is a great opportunity to do it. You just hold the 1 key. I did about an hour a day for maybe 6 days, and I got 99 construction. I'm not kidding. It was so free. Highly recommend construction quality of life. That is the last plugin that I use on a day-to-day basis. Construction quality of life I don't use on a day-to-day basis, but it linked a couple of the things I was talking about before, and I really hope people know about it because a lot of people think you still have to do the right-click thing, right-click thing, right-click, click, right-click, click, 6-1, right-click, 6-1, right-click, left-click, 6-1. You don't have to do that anymore. It's left-click, hold 1. Just click. That's all you got to do now. You can do it with a foot pedal. It's so good. It's so good. I hope you gleaned something from this video. I know it's long. I know it was a little bit sporadic, but I hope you could get some advantage from that and maybe get a new plugin into your life. I know a lot of you don't like plugins, but I like plugins, they help. Ground markers is just hold the thingy and mark a tile. You know, you don't really need to know what ground markers do. I feel like most people know what ground markers are. So if you do need to get any of my ground markers, you can just right-click import. Once you copy it from one of my video descriptions, you can just import, paste, and you're good to go. All right. This has been Gis. Stick around if you want more videos like this. I'm going to be starting a bunch of series eventually because we're sort of running out of guides to do. We got like Inferno and Colosseum left, but I don't have a BOFA to do Inferno. So I have a series idea to get a BOFA to then do Inferno. Anyways, I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace out. Enjoy your holidays. I'll be back in the new year. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Celebrate whatever. Love your people. See ya.